John, welcome in.
Good morning. Like you all, and everyone, I'm grieved by it all. I am a conservative. I voted for Mr. Trump twice. I do support these policies overall, and I can hold two truths at the same time, meaning that Renee and Alex, who died, they believed that they were doing what was right. They were not domestic terrorists, but they were protesters who were doing illegal things. And what I'm upset about is the ineffective leadership. They can't seem to separate protesters because if I'm the mayor or the governor, citizens are going to stay 25 yards away from ICE because ICE is performing lawful duties. They're not assassinating. You can say that they used excessive force, and the investigation will show that. But what I'm frustrated by, even if I'm a liberal Democrat who's totally against ICE, I'm going to make sure my citizens stay 25 yards away from ICE, and I'm going to work with ICE until I go through the court systems and get what I want. But that's where I'm at.
Yeah. Eric, again, we all can have complicated thoughts at the same time. And I was very heartened on X this weekend. A number of people in my feed were expressing views similar to John's, balanced views and seeing things on both sides. Eric, I do feel you have a right to protest, you have a right to film video. But when you get that close to ICE officers, particularly if you've got a gun, you're creating a different situation, aren't you?
Yeah, you absolutely are. Alex Preddy should be alive. He got way too close, more than he should have. There's been this embodiment of righteousness in the cause. We get that now from some of the investigations of the signal chat and the like. They think they're on the side. But at the same time, my concern in this case is different from the Renee Good case, who was the entire day harassing ICE, using her vehicle to block them before the tragedy unfolded. This guy had a camera and was assaulted after he had walked away when a Border Patrol agent, not ICE, Border Patrol, knocked someone down, and he was trying to get between that person and the Border Patrol agent. It got out of hand. Yes, I understand the argument that he had a gun and that could be provocative, but I've got one. I'm in the South. We all carry. It was his right to do. It's a sad situation that I think has been needlessly escalated, and you should not go try to intervene with Border Patrol when they're deporting people. Protest is nonviolent in this country.
Melissa, people on the right look at the Signal chat group. They look at the history of the last, 20 years or more, and they say, here's what happens. Liberals organize, they're provocative, they look for confrontation, and then they use the confrontation to try to demand change and an end to the programs they don't like. Is that a true accusation?
I think in some instances it is. I don't think in all instances it is. I do agree that I think that Tim Walz has done a terrible job this entire time. Again, last night when I saw they deployed the National Guard, who was immediately engaging in de-escalation tactics. I worked for the governor of the state of New York during the George Floyd aftermath and during the summer that followed, where there was protests that bordered on rioting at various points. And I will tell you, when I was sitting in that chair, the number one thing that we were looking to do was de-escalate. And I think a lot of what Walz was doing was inflame. And I think that there are certain law enforcement that are trained specifically to go in and de-escalate, and that they hesitated from deploying those people and sort of let this mayhem go. And then last night, all of a sudden, you see a change in tactics when things got so hot and the second person has been killed. And I thought to myself, why the hell didn't you do that all along? And so I think that we should be doing those kinds of things, and that leaders first and foremost need to look to de-escalate and try to keep First Amendment, yes, but you cannot harass, you cannot destroy property, you cannot throw things at law enforcement, you cannot burn cop cars, you cannot do those things. And that line also has to be very clear.
John, if the president called you and said, I saw you on the morning meeting, I'm sending Homans, what else should I do? What else would you tell him to do?
I want him and Walz to agree that ICE can take people that are already been arrested, have a deportation order, and that they provide local protection to provide that separation. And then that way they can get the 3,000. They can, go down to 500 or 1,000, whatever the right number is. But what they need to do to stop these tragedies from happening, the federal government and the state, they need to reach an agreement for the good of the people. because we can all agree there's no reason this should have happened.
Right.
They had goodwill, and ICE is not the Gestapo. They're not the Nazis. The ICE saves lives, and our government, both sides need to work together for the good of the people, and both sides are not doing that right now.
Okay. John, thank you. Very thoughtful.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.
And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and Two-Way Tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your